Welcome back, everyone, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. Well, we have our 3-year contracts in our policy for militia, which will help with our recruiting process, Militia Act 3. Now we can actually go to Conscription Act 2. It'll hurt national morale, but it's going to increase the number of troops we have available to us. We also would have bounties, too, available to us, but that'll drop the morale of units by 5. I think I'd rather go with Conscription Act 2. So it's going to take 49 days for that, but hopefully we're going to start to see more men in the field because of that, while we try to work on getting the rest of these units recruited. Alright, fighting has commenced in Tennessee. Stonewall Jackson is going to be leading his Army of the West along with the Army of the Tennessee. Looks like we're going to have everybody all together, about 50,000 men total, going up against just about 34,000 that won't even be arriving for 3 hours. So we've got some time to get ourselves set up and engaged for this one. So it looks like we'll be on the Stones River battlefield, and we've got Jackson's army coming up from the southeast and Beauregard's army coming in from the northeast. And we can expect the Union to be in this corner somewhere. So we'll get Jackson down here on the Salem Turnpike, maybe loaded up to come down that way. He won't actually be coming in for 3 hours, so we may actually just be able to cut him off from even being able to arrive. I don't know if that's a possibility or not, but we're going to find out. Okay, so this is interesting. I didn't think he actually had any troops on the battlefield yet, because it said that they were going to be arriving in 3 hours, but he does have troops on the battlefield, and it looks like Beauregard's about to run right into him, so we're going to have to change what we're doing a little bit here, because we've got all these guys loaded up. They were in the process of rushing over toward the objective points where he could come in from. So let's go ahead and start bringing everyone over this direction. How many men does he actually have on the field right now? It says he's got all 41,000 men already. That doesn't make any sense, because it said they were 3 hours away. All right. Well, that's how we're going to play this then. Wasn't at all expecting that. So these guys are going to run into this army here and have to engage in this spot, and they're going to get all bunched up. It's not going to be pretty. Although it is getting close to dark. It's January of 1863, so nighttime will hit pretty soon rather than later. So then we'll be able to redeploy. In fact, there it is. We really didn't have to engage at all. So now we've got a chance to redeploy our entire army. That'll be very, very helpful under the circumstances. We got to find a good spot for artillery here, and there doesn't seem to be one, except to put them right out here in front. Okay, we're deployed right here in front. I'm going to swing Buckner around, getting him straightened out there. All the artillery is right up front at the moment. Got the 2 130 Kansas artillery here. Bryan's battalion right there. These are 6-pounders. We got to get those upgraded. We have artillery available now. Definitely need to upgrade all the artillery. Doubletree Widows, let's go ahead and move them up. Everybody's broken at the moment. I'm not entirely sure why. They're fragmented or they're broken. There's major cohesion issues that we're going to have to solve before we can really launch any kind of an attack. So we'll have to sit tight for a little while. Let the artillery hold these guys off. Morale looks good. 69 for me, 58 for him. We'll give everybody a chance to recover while we move into position the other half of our forces. Not entirely sure what Phil Sheridan's doing with his cavalry here. Who was wounded already? Blanchard. 154th Argyle Brigade. Alright, looks like we're dealing with the cohesion issues. Oh, he's sending his cav right in at my artillery. That was a gutsy call. Didn't work out. How are we doing here? Blanchard was wounded, so we've got potential issues there, but it looks like morale's good now. I'm gonna go ahead and send out some skirmishers. Especially because we got that artillery right there. And I'm gonna march Zollikoffer forward. And we're gonna spring the trap on the back here. Our artillery's losing men. We gotta be careful here. They lost all their guns. Darn it. Okay. That's the one bad thing about putting them up front like that. But there was the only place I could really fire with them. Alright, you put out skirmishers too, McCulloch. Let's deal with these guns. Put the Doubletree Widows in the woods. They're taking a lot of fire there. Alright, let's take out that battery. Let's move Buckner forward. Where are my skirmishers here? Whoa, what's he doing over here? He's being really aggressive, which has been interesting to watch because he doesn't typically do that. But he's definitely been aggressive on this battle. Who's the commander? I'm curious to see who that is. Commander report, here we go. Oh, it's Dana. Interesting. Get the guns. Argyle Brigade. I know you have no brigade commander right now. Or at least you lost the one you had. Ooh, 3,000 casualties for me compared to 1,900 for him. Alright, Pillow. Forward. Pull the skirmishers in. Hit that battery. Alright, they're mounted. Let's hit this battery here. Oh, what a nightmare of a battle. I don't like how this is going at all. Gordon Brigade had lost 600 men. Purple Aces just broke from all the men they were losing. A lot of that was the artillery. Buckeye Blazers taking heavy casualties. Alright, you know what? Break Sumner. I'm going to send Buckner's entire division to deal with Abercrombie over there. Let's bring the Cherokee Mounted Rifles under Standawati up into this. It's not looking good at the moment, but I've got the numbers and I've got advantages in places where I think we'll be able to... Oh man, 7,200 casualties compared to 4,500 for him. Greg just broke. We're going to send the Royal Australians in to try and break Ward. That was successful, and I had to do that because who else was wounded? slack, commander of the Gordon Brigade, because we've got to hit these batteries. He's just lighting me up with artillery. Stand Watt? No, it's Walker. Gruber's guards, they broke. They lost 50% casualties. Oh, wow. High Pressure Brigade making their debut, the 7th Mississippi 7th. Man. Brutal casualties. I've lost 11,000 men. We've inflicted 8,000. It's about 20% on each side. His artillery has just been brutal on me. This has not gone at all the way I expected. And we're gonna lose. Ooh. 25% casualties. There's a possibility. Oh, they just broke too. Alright, let's get out. That was ugly. That was real ugly. Alright, so that all started with bad intelligence that his army was not yet on the field. That was what I understood that to be. And acting on the assumption his army was not there, I ran into a real problem and got my butt kicked. He lost 11,000 men. I lost 14,000. Problem is, I can't afford those casualties as much as he can. So we can't have too many battles like that. Alright, February 1st, 1863, further conscription acts passed. Hopefully, that means we are going to gain another boost in manpower. We're just still not seeing the manpower we need. And for the record, he's now at 348,000 men in the field to our 142. So that's the situation we're at. We're just having an impossible time getting the manpower we need. Next, we're going to go with Bounties 2, which is going to give us, it's going to take another 49 days, but that'll increase the volunteers by 25%. We're just doing absolutely everything we can to get more men in the field, and we'll see what happens. Okay, that last one did it. We've got 150,000 draftees available. The first conscription act did very little. It never really gave me this kind of numbers for draftees, but this one did. So now we're going to be able to start recruiting in significant ways. We're still not going to have enough Texas troops. So if you are a patron and you're waiting on your unit and it's from Texas or Virginia, I mean, Virginia we might be able to get everybody now, but I've got a lot of Texas requests. I just can't fill them all. I've only got 9,000 men available for Texas. So I'll do the best I can here. Okay, we've got all but 2 of our patron units recruited yet. Now we're just waiting on some more Texas troops for those. But I'm ready to start getting a little more bold, even though we're heavily outnumbered. 153,000 men in the field to his 352,000. He seems to have concentrated his armies in a couple of spots. So we're going to start making our move. First move is to move the Army of East Tennessee, which eventually is going to hit 23,000 men, up here to take the Cumberland Gap. We're going to build a railroad, hopefully, eventually here, and then we'll come up and grab these supplies here. Start threatening eastern Kentucky a little bit. I would like to get back over here and deal with them a little bit. The only 2 armies that are in this area, it's just the 1st Corps, 36,000 men. Army of Tennessee has 84,000 total, but I don't know where the rest of them are. So I think we can probably take these guys on, the way things stand. With the Army of the West and the Army of Tennessee. So let's get those 40,000 men moving in that direction. See if we can't clear the 1st Corps out and open ourselves up to be able to go back in and take Western Tennessee. I also want to start doing something with the Army of the Kanawha. So let's see what we can do about maybe putting a little bit of a threat on Ohio. Make a move on Marietta, at least draw some of his armies away. The British forces disintegrated again. They moved into Pennsylvania and once again had an issue, so they haven't been a lot of help, really. Okay, here we go. Army of the Tennessee against our Army of Tennessee and Army of the West. See if we can't do a little better this time than we did in the previous battle. You're going to start seeing more of these units showing up in battles, ones that maybe you haven't seen yet because of forces like the Army of East Tennessee, forces like the Army of the Kanawha, which haven't fought so far. I've been waiting till I could go a little more on the offensive, and now that I'm starting to actually have some available troops, I might be able to do that a little bit here and there. Well, we're not going to make the same mistake we made last time on this battlefield. This time we're going to move slow. We know he's out there. We know he's got a decent amount of men, 31,000. But we've got the numbers, though he's got a lot of guns. And we can't afford to keep losing men the way that we have. So we're going to go out with the cavalry screening ahead of us, and then we're going to move in very cautiously behind them with the infantry. Okay, our scouts have spotted him. It looks like they're up here around this objective. Don't really see much else happening, so let's go ahead and start moving into position with the Army of Tennessee. We're going to have to bring Beauregard's whole army up. We might even try to get in behind him if I can with some artillery. There's a nice clear field back there for artillery, although we're not going to do that today. That'll certainly be for the next day's battle, but I don't think we're going to engage in battle this first day anyway. Okay, well, what we've just discovered here is that he's also dug in right down here with fortifications, and I was planning on getting a division in behind there, so we're going to have to rethink that, although we're going to run out of daylight here pretty soon. But let's reissue our orders based on what we've just seen. Doubletree Widows are on their way up in that direction, so we want to be careful with them. Let's get Standwadi up there with his Cherokee mounted rifles. Zollicoffer's division, I think, whose division is it? Yeah, Zollicoffer's division is the one that has orders to go up there. So let's redeploy them over here instead. All right, so we are going to have a little action here. Doubletree Widows are in combat with the West Virginia Brigade from the Army of the Tennessee. Doubletree Widows have these Enfield musketoons, which only fire 3.5 rounds a minute, but they have a 400-yard range, which gives them nice range compared to most of my mounted units. However, they only have 1,500 men, so they're outnumbered. Going to try to get them some support as quickly as we can. Standwadi's going to move up in here. Let's get Maxie Gregg over there. He's got Maynard carbines, though, which they have a 300-yard range, but they fire 12 rounds a minute. Standwadi, Springfield musketoons, 250-yard range, 2.5 rounds a minute, so not the best. But they're mostly going to cover the flank. We've only, well, it's March now, so we might go till 6 or 7 o'clock with daylight now. The rest of this, we're just going to sit tight. Because we're going to run out of daylight and we're going to be redeploying anyway. Alright, Standwadi's going in. He's going to charge and try to hit these guns. We've got a problem. Doubletree Widows are being fired on from behind. But if we can at least maybe knock out a battery or two with the Cherokee mounted rifles, that'll be good. Buckeye Blazers are moving into position to help Doubletree Widows on their right flank. Alright, so our Cherokee boys took out that battery. That may be about all they get to do in this one before they run into some trouble here. But they're going to take on Rodman. You do have to watch these guns firing into their flank now. Yeah, they're going to break. Only lost 147 men, but they broke. But they did take out that battery. So where things stand now is this. We've taken out 15 of his guns. And about even on the casualties. Let's keep moving these guys up, because I don't know where we're going to end up redeploying when it's all said and done. We need Maxie Gregg to... Oh, he is firing on these guys. I don't know how old Doubletree Widows are going to be able to hold. Or how long. With what they're facing. They're in a really bad spot there. They're going to fall back at some point. Hopefully we get to the end of the day here in a couple minutes. I don't know how late the time goes in March, early March. There goes Doubletree Widows. I was afraid that would happen. There we go, end of the day. So now we'll get a chance to redeploy, and we'll get ourselves in a good position because all of our units are going to be in the same area now. Okay, here we go. We've got a nice battle line, I think. It's a little screwy over on the left flank, but we're mostly using the left flank just to guard against him. We're going to make the attack on these guys that are out here in the open on the right flank. It's a nice open battlefield. We haven't had that for a while. Front line's going to be, once again, our Royal Australians. This time fully reinforced with their new 29th Royal Australian Infantry in their first combat. We've got artillery out here, able to fire. Got some 14-pounder Jameses here. We're going to bring Pillow's division around and start getting into them here. If we break these units, that might be enough to win this thing. If not, we'll cross the bridge and we'll hit these guys from the other side. Let's go ahead and speed things up a little bit. Right now it's all the 7th Royal Australian and 11th Royal Australian. Not entirely sure what he's doing. I want him over this way. Yeah, he's shifting now. I kind of expected he probably would. There is somewhere to cross up here. We're going to send Ransom, the Purple Aces, up there to cross upriver. Alright, Missouri Iron Brigade under Joseph Shelby. They're going to get in on the action here. Next to them, the Texas Brigade under Jerome Robertson. And we're going to have the Stonewall Brigade next to them. We'll grab the objective. Alright, let's see what he's doing over here. He's crossing. I've got some artillery out front. It's Brian's battalion. Got the 51st Artillery Brigade over here. I'm going to bring them out this way a little bit. Not entirely sure what he's doing, but let's send the cavalry out here just to screen against that. Alright, so we've got this reserve division with just 2 brigades right now, the Mississippi Brigade and Rex's Raiders. That's under Albert Sidney Johnston. I'm going to send them up here. Oh, good. I guess we're okay because Stoneman's falling back. But let's get them to cross up there. So far, so good. Yeah, he's trying to stretch the line out this way. Semmes' horse artillery losing men. Where are they? Is that these guys here? No. Oh, that was this unit. How did they lose men? He must have been focusing his artillery fire on them. Alright, so we lost them for the battle. We'll get them back, though. We've taken the objective. I'm going to cross up here. I'm going to bring Ransom down. And then we'll go ahead and push forward up to the river. We'll go ahead and have Pillow's division cross. We'll bring Buckner up to the river. We'll start trying to push from this side. Alright, looks like George Crook decided to come up to the river and fire. So we're going to take him on. Texas Brigade is crossing now, so we'll get them over there. We'll get the Stonewall Brigade in next to them up here. I'm going to go ahead and bring Ransom down with the Purple Aces. We're still waiting on Johnson to cross. Keeping an eye on things over here, but I'm not too worried yet. Yeah, we need the Texas Brigade to get in on these guys on their flank. Put himself in a death trap down there. Now, before you think, well, that's stupid AI behavior, well, it's not all that different than what Joe Davis did with his brigade at Gettysburg, crawling down into the railroad cut, which turned that into a death trap for them, and most of them had to surrender. Well, Johnston decided to cross over here now. We're still waiting on Robertson to move. I don't know what the deal is there. But it would go a long way if he would just move up. Because we're missing an opportunity to get into his flank. Well, Chatham's moving at least. Now he'll be able to fire into him. Alright, in the meantime, still have artillery firing on us over here, and we're taking some casualties from that. Rebel Sons of Erin have lost 86 men because of it. But I'm not going to lose too much sleep over that. Alright, Pillow, just bring your whole brigade over here, or your whole division over here, I guess. There, we broke Crook. 2,600 casualties against 4,400 for the enemy, and he has fewer men than me to begin with, so we're just going to keep doing this. If he's going to hold the line right here, I'm just going to keep kind of harassing his flanks, and we'll win the battle that way. He's got 2 big units of cavalry here. Now he's turned his guns on me. Texas Brigade's still sitting there. I don't know what in the world happened with them. They seem like maybe they're stuck for some reason. Alright, here he comes. He's turning now with Cooper. He's turning with his cavalry. Gotta watch the Stonewall Brigade. They don't have a lot of men. Rex's Raiders getting their first action. Mississippi Brigade. Alright, one more broken brigade might be enough to win this thing. Oh, he's pulling back, but he just sent 2 brigades across. I don't know if he didn't see me or what, but the high pressure brigade just laid into him. 10th Tennessee Irish right there. Here he comes with his cavalry now. I think he was trying to retreat that direction. Didn't realize I was there or something. Alright, let's move Johnston forward. 6,000 casualties for him now. We're definitely making up for what happened in that last battle. Let's have Pillow bring his whole division across now. Nice. He's collapsing now. He just... Oh, man. He just laid into me over here with his cavalry and caused the high-pressure brigade to break. That's alright, though. We got plenty more over here. I'm not too worried about that. We're going to bring the 1st Tennessee up. Bring Gruber's guards up. I think we're going to start seeing him making a break for it here soon. Alright, I'm going to send Greg into these retreating units here. Oh, what's Clark doing? Oh, that's high pressure brigade. He recovered, but now he's out there. Alright, we got this. Now he's coming at me over here. Alright, that's the end of the battle. Who was killed? No. Commander of the high pressure brigade was killed. That's okay. We won the battle. That was a big one for us, especially after losing against this same army. So that's going to free up Tennessee and allow us, I think, to start moving into Kentucky. Alright, we only lost 3,400 men. We inflicted 7,500 casualties. So my goal now is I'm going to send Stonewall Jackson back over to the Mississippi River around Memphis. See if we can't take that fort north of Memphis and turn that into a stronghold from which to launch an attack, hopefully on Cairo, Illinois, which I know is a big base of supply for the Union. And then we'll hold the Army of Tennessee near Nashville until we have a chance to move up into central Kentucky. And with that, Beauregard's Army of Tennessee has now achieved elite status. I like that flag. We're going to hold them tight. Stonewall Jackson's got his 3rd perk available to him now. I think we'll go with Flying Column. And we're going to move him over here, see if we can't grab this supply depot right here. Might even build a fort. I thought there was a fort, a Union fort up in here. He must have dismantled it. So we'll move in there. We'll take that supply depot. We'll probably build a fort somewhere up in here. And then we're going to try and go after Cairo. Really take away his ability to supply his army. In the meantime, we're up to 163,000 men in the field. We're finally starting to see that number climb, thanks in large part to the fact that we can actually reinforce our troops now. So a lot of these armies, a lot of these units that have been stuck around 1,300 men are going to be able to finally build those numbers up. We've got 2 more patron units to get recruited. I will have those by the next episode. Hopefully we can get some more Texas troops. And then I will make a video specifically for all the patrons showing you where all of the units are. So if you haven't seen yours yet, you'll see it in that video, and hopefully we'll get them involved in the action. We're going to start using the Army of East Tennessee. They've got 23,000 men. And the Army of the Kanawha. You can see here, he's moving to counter them. He's got one card called the Army of Occupation. 12,000 plus another 12,000 in the 1st Corps. Army of the Kanawha is only going to have about half of that, so we're going to have to use them wisely. And we may have to help out with the Army of East Tennessee moving up in support. So I might go ahead and keep them moving all the way up to this base of supply over here, which I think we're going to try to upgrade. And maybe that will draw one of these units down, and then we can take them both on, because we've got 23,000 men in this army. We'll see what happens, but that will be for another day. Let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below, and we will be back soon. Thanks for watching.